Hello, I've been asked to create a video on building menus in on-screen takeoff, which is really an easy task and I don't know, kind of fun to do anyway. So your on-screen menu is this menu down here, which has all these buttons, and there's one that's thrown together here that's kind of messy. It has two tabs on it. It says standard items and valves. So to put items on these menus, you use your build menu up at the top. So say I want to put some pressure items on it. It's going to make a list of all the available pressure items, and all I've got to do is drop and drag things down to create that menu. Now I don't have to limit myself to what I put on these menus, so if I want to put on some DWV items, I can pop up here and I can put on some, let's put an eighth bend over here and union over here and DWV pipe over here. So I can put anything I want on here. And I can even put them on there more than once if I wanted to. I could put, pipe on both of these tabs. I can do anything I want. Once they're on the menu here, it's just going to drop them in what's called a flow order. So they're just going to line up down the side there. And I probably am going to want to rearrange those or resize them. So first thing I'm going to do is go to my Move Buttons mode here. And once I'm in my Move Buttons mode, you'll see it's checked there. I can go and I can say, oh, no, if I wanted my pipe over here, I can drag them around, move them around, and rearrange them. I can put them anywhere I want. I can also resize them. So, maybe I hit DWV pipe a lot. So I can click on that while it's in the Move Buttons mode, and I can use my arrow keys to make that button larger or smaller, and it'll just sort of elbow out of the way anything it needs to until it fits, and they just stay in their order there. So I could make that a really big button. I could make it really tall and really narrow. I really have any options I want. And then I can still move it if I want to. Move it over here somewhere or, make it look a little better. I can also add blank buttons. Now the only purpose of blank button is it's never really going to do anything. But maybe I want to put it over here and divide up my menu. Use it as a separator. Rearrange things. So I drag it just like I would any other button, and now I've got like a separate section on here. I can also do things like setting the text color on that button. So maybe it's a little more obvious as a certain kind of button I want. Set that text color to, I don't know, something dark usually is easier to read. I can change the background color of my tab. So I can change my tab color if I wanted to yellow, say. I can rename my tab. Right now, if you look over here, this tab's called Standard Items. Maybe I want to call it All Items. So I was going to put everything in one tab. So I can rename it. And now I've got my All Items and my Valves tab. I can add new tabs to put more things on. So make a new tab here. And by default, it's called X. So I right click on here. And I rename my tab to more stuff or whatever it happens to be. And then I can pop up here to my build and maybe I want to pull down, make a sleeves tab. So I pull down all these things down here, anything I want, and I'll set that tab color or something just to be different. So now I've got my valves, my more stuff, my all items. I can do anything I want with those, rename them. The one thing to keep a track of is when I'm in the Move Buttons mode, if all of a sudden I decide, okay, I'm done, I want to start takeoff, the buttons aren't going to do anything because they're assuming when you're clicking on them they're to move. So if you're ready to start your takeoff, turn off the Move Buttons mode so the buttons actually work. Otherwise, you'll be kicking yourself in the head and thinking, why isn't this button doing anything? So those are the options you have in there to set up that menu. Like I said, it's real easy to do. Once it's set up, you can go up here, go to your File menu, save that menu. Now by default you have the Highlands menu, and that's always the default menu. But maybe this is your brand new menu that's just for you, or it's for a different type of work. This might be Joe's hospital work, say. or we'll just call it Joe's. This is Joe's menu. So if you have multiple users, you can each have their own menu. If you have different kinds of work, you can have menus for all the different works, and each of the menus can have as many tabs as you want with customized buttons on it. So you can really come up with a menu that works for you and the work you do. So if I save that menu, now if I load a menu, I can go load the Highlands menu, and I'll have that menu. Or I can go here and I can load a menu, and I can go back to Joe's menu here. And really, that's about all there is to it. I guess the other thing is deleting buttons and tabs. So if you create something, really crazy, and decide you messed up, you can delete the tab, delete the buttons. You can start all over again. It's really an easy process to do. So that is it.